How are you? Eager today, moving things around?
Yeah, I need to have a nap, bro. They
I
keep fucking
figured.
scheduling shit. They keep scheduling shit like an hour and a half or 2 hours apart. So I'm just sitting around fucking playing with myself, waiting for these different interviews, you know?
Mm.
Not actually, not
All right,
literally, but
whatever works.
you know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
I'll pass the time.
I gotta train in 3 hours. So I'm like, if I can get you done at three, then I can
Hmm.
go home and nap for like an hour and a half. I'm tired
Perfect.
as fuck.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
try. I'll try and be timely for you, girl. I got you.
No, you're
So,
good. You're fine. I just sent my mom, my granddad into CVS to get fucking laundry detergent, so we're good
all
till
right,
for a
cool.
minute.
Yeah, I saw you post about that. So, mom's in town for the fight. Like,
Yeah,
how's that exciting? Right, she hasn't seen you fight in person in a while, right?
yeah. 4 years. The last fight,
Okay.
well, they used to come to all my fights, and the last one they came to was Moscow in November
Oh, they
2019, I
went
think it
to
was.
Russia for it.
Yeah. Well, they've been to Russia, Singapore, South Korea, and the US for all
Okay.
my fights. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Is that weird at all for you, or is it kind of whatever?
I mean, it was weird them not being here
Mm,
for a while, even though they always stress me out in fight week.
right.
Well, no, they used to stress me out in fight week. This time I made the decision to not be stressed out by them in fight week. Uh but because I also haven't seen my mum in 4 years, I haven't seen her since Russia.
Mm,
So it was weird to not have them there for fights.
right. Okay, so then how long you guys been spending time together for? She's been in town for a little bit, right?
Yeah, like she's been around for a week so far.
Okay.
They got in like the 11th. Yeah, they got in on September 11th, which didn't stress me out at all. Them flying overseas on September 11th, but they got in on September 11th, and then they leave on October 5th, so they're here for a while.
Oh, okay. So then yeah, that's good that you get like time that's not just centered around the fight specifically then, right? You can do some other stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and I kind of felt bad because like last week they were on my schedule, like I was doing my final training and getting medicals and all that stuff, and then this week's kind of the same.
Hmm.
But at least like here, because we're in Vegas, I got an Airbnb, so at least we're staying together. Back up
Hmm.
in Cali, they were at a hotel and I was at home, So
Right.
now it doesn't. Now I don't feel so bad that they're on my schedule because I'm seeing them in between everything. Whereas last week I wasn't. I'd like go home to sleep and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, nice. Well, that's cool. Definitely different dynamic. A little throwback for you, right, to have them around. So that's fun.
Yeah, yeah, it is cool. It is cool. I'm glad they're here.
Yeah, awesome. And what you drove all the way there? What your longest motorcycle ride? I saw you post about this last night.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
was
Mom and
that?
granddad were in the truck with the dogs, and I was on the bike. It was cool. It was actually really cool. I wasn't originally intending on riding out. I
Yeah.
was going to tow it out because I have the day after my flight. I'm installing a bunch of stuff on the bike at my friend's shop out here in Vegas.
Hmm.
So that's why I brought it out. So I was going to tow it out because my friend who's doing it was like you're going to be exhausted if you try to ride out here. Like, don't do that to yourself in fight week. And I was like, no, no, I'm not. I'm going to tow it out. And then my housemate was supposed to get me a trailer, and he fucking went camping. And so
Oh
then
no.
it got to Monday morning, and that motherfucker wasn't even here. And I was like, now I got to ride. And I was really annoyed about it to start with. And then like once I actually got on the road, it was fucking really cool. And I was listening to the audio book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, and
Ah,
it's like about being out on your bike and just little things. And it was a really, really, I'm tired, but it
yeah.
really was an amazing day. I'm really grateful that I got the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, pretty wild. So, I mean, imagine that was like an all day thing. When did you like start? Because if you posted like right after last night, that was around I think
It
11ish
was
when you
like,
did that last night.
yeah, the whole thing took 11 hours. Mum, your door's not Oh, both your doors aren't shut. Yeah, the whole thing took like 11 hours because my bike only has a small tank, and then we had the dogs with us as well. So we stopped a bunch, and then we stopped to like look at a couple little things, and yeah, so all up it was like 11 hours on the bike,
All right,
which might
nice.
which might be a bit much,
Yeah.
honestly, in fight week, but it's fine.
Too late now.
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. But I was gonna ride my bike to do like the rest of my medicals this morning, and then I was
Mm.
like, nah, I
Yeah,
can't.
I've had enough.
Yeah, yeah, I'm okay right now. I didn't want to put my jeans and my jacket back on, and
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm all right.
So I've heard that bikes actually get like maybe better gas mileage. Did you have to make many stops? Like how is it in that regard?
I get about 200 miles to a tank,
Okay.
if I'm riding like reasonably,
Yeah.
but it only costs me like 25 bucks to fill it up. So,
Wonderful.
so it was like, yeah, so it was like around 75 bucks to get to Vegas, whereas usually in my truck it's closer to 300. So,
Good deal. Good deal.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we had both, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, right on, right on. Well, obviously, getting ready for a new adventure, Jesse. Muay Thai action. Some get really honing on the elbows as you always like to do in this one. But I mean, just I guess how did it come together? Obviously, fought out the contract with the UFC, but like, tell me about a story of how this came together. I mean, what you just found out your opponent like last week or something? They really took their
Yeah.
time. It's a quite a
Well,
story.
so what happened? What happened was that I fought out my deal, right? So I was in Texas for like 3 months or whatever.
Hmm.
Fought out my deal in May, and then I came back to California. I came back to CSA for the coaches clinic after that. And so while I was at the coaches clinic, I said to Coach K, he's like, "What are you going to do next?" Because for the last 4 years, we've been talking about me retiring from MMA and transitioning into Muay Thai and boxing. Like
Yeah.
that's always been the plan for as long as I've known Coach, and that was my plan, not his plan. He supports whatever I want to do. So then when I came back for that coaches clinic, and I was like, I was 50. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. Like, I was considering moving to Miami because there's a lot of good boxing gyms out there. Like, I was never staying in Texas permanently. I was
Hmm.
always going to move on after that fight. So I was trying to figure out where I was going to go. Was I going to come back to Vegas? Was I going to try to go to Orange County? Was I going to I was talking to some coaches in Miami. So I was going to go out there. And then I came back for the coaches clinic and saw all my friends and like my surrogate family is in California, and just saw everyone that I love, and was reminded of how much I loved being at CSA and how much I'd missed Coach Kirian, and then I was like, no, I think I got to come back. I think I'm going to come back here. And then so yeah, he asked me what I wanted to do, and I was like, fuck it, let's go to Muay Thai. And he's like, well, there's a line, and so Lion Fight was originally supposed to be on August 12th, and this was I believe this was the mid of June. I think it was mid June that we had this conversation. He's like, "Hey, there's a line fight August 12th. Like, let's come back here. Let's do camp, and then after that, we can figure out what you want to do." Because I was still kind of considering moving back to Vegas. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to move back to Vegas, so I was considering that, and I'd said that to him. I was like, I don't know if I can afford to live in California, to be honest.
Hmm.
Like outside of actual combat sports, there's a lot more for me in Vegas. So I said that to him, like, I kind of still want to go back there. Like, I've been talking to this boxing coach out there. And then he was like, look, stay here till you fight. Let's do Lion Fight. And then let's sit down and have a conversation after that. And then obviously that event got pushed to September. And then throughout that time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay. Like, now that I'm not having to travel all across the countryside
Yeah.
to get wrestling and jiu-jitsu and all this different stuff. And I'm just at one boxing gym, and I'm just at CSA. And so I have like a really good thing going on there now. And it's been exciting. It's been a difficult transition, but it's been a really exciting transition, and it feels like the relationship with Coach Kirian since I've been back has like been we never lost our relationship when I
Hmm.
left, but it's like been reinvigorated. And
Okay.
especially now that I'm doing Muay Thai, I think he's even more excited about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, seems like that's always been something just from talking to you that he's been like kind of, when are we gonna do this?
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, he knows that's what I love too. Like I haven't enjoyed MMA for such a long time, but I was contracted, so I didn't really have
hmm.
any options, and so then that's why we'd always talked about, oh, once the contract ends, like we probably won't renew, unless
Hmm.
like they offered stupid money.
Right.
But I also knew, like, I am 36 this year, like I don't want to fight much longer, and I also realized that if I did re-sign with them, I was probably going to retire with
Yeah,
them, and
get
then I
stuck.
wouldn't get the opportunity to try the things that I really I know I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't go and try Muay Thai and try boxing and try all these other sports.
Right. Yeah. Good to have the options. So kind of working out with a
Yeah,
nice timing, just kind of, before it's too late, like you were saying. So
yeah,
that's
before
good.
it's too late, before I'm old as fuck.
Or you're
Yeah.
an old lady.
Thanks, Drake.
Yep.
Thanks, Drake.
Hey, you said that. I didn't say it. But yeah, I mean, as for the opponent dynamic, like did you like not knowing for a bit who you were getting ready for? Or like tell me your
To
thoughts
be
on
honest,
that.
I thought I was going to get out here this week and not even have a fight, you
That would have
know?
been kind of fun, mystery
Um,
opponent as you're walking out.
oh, yeah. No, I know coach just wanted it to be someone with a similar kind of story as myself, you know? Because I got a lot of women offering to fight me, but they were all women who had 30 plus Muay Thai fights.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never fought Muay Thai before. You know what I mean? And the Muay Thai that I've been doing for the last few years has been for MMA, which is very, very different to traditional Muay Thai. So he and Lion Fight were really trying to find someone who had a similar story, who had been fighting in MMA and wanted to test their hand at
Yeah.
Muay Thai, and just make it more of like an even playing field as opposed to kind of throwing me to the wolves against like I had women with multiple Muay Thai championships wanting
You're
to
like,
fight
hold
me, which
on.
I get, and I'm like, and I said to coach, I'm like, coach, if you tell me that this is the one, like I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna say no. And he's like, no. He goes, after the first fight, yes, we'll fight girls who specialize in Muay
Mhm.
Thai. He's like, but let's and it's the same. Like we're talking about making my pro boxing debut and kind of want to do a similar thing, like fight someone who is who is a striker but has the same kind of career plan that I've had, which is
Mhm.
primarily MMA transitioning into striking sports. Just to, I don't want to go fight Ebony Bridges, who'd beat the
Yeah.
shit out of me because she's a
Yeah.
boxer.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense, but it's
Yeah, right.
it's kind of funny how they would want like, so how about this arena bars
Yeah,
here,
man, so many of these Muay Thai girls were like, "Oh, we'll take it." Yeah, I'm fucking sure you
Yeah,
would.
right.
Yeah,
Take it easy, guys. But
yeah,
so
dip.
so then have you had or done any studying on Karen here, Karen Cedillo, right? That's how you pronounce her name.
I no. I
Okay.
watched a little. I watched a little bit with with Coach Kirian and Coach Mao last week before one of my sessions, but outside of that, that was it. I'm trying to just do what I've been working on doing and
Mhm.
hope that it turns out the way I want it to turn out. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We'll see. I'll let you
Yep.
know on Saturday night how
Yep.
that
Well,
went for me.
one way to find out.
Like, fuck, probably should have watched some footage,
Yeah,
huh?
maybe a little bit.
Yeah. No, I've seen a little bit. I've seen a little bit.
Enough. Enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, at this stage with these options like the boxing and the Muay Thai and stuff, and kind of the trajectory you were wanting to go on, Jesse, like, how do you kind of, I guess, look back on the UFC departure though? Is it like sad at all? Are you totally happy with it? Or like just how do you kind of look back on the closing chapter of your career, I guess?
It's kind of mixed emotions about it because like I always knew that after the Lisboa fight, I I was done, regardless of how
Win or
that
lose.
went.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've known for a long time before that the end of that contract was going to be it. I obviously was hoping that I would be able to close out on a win. I think that's the only thing that I'm disappointed about was that I didn't really get to end it the way I wanted to.
Hmm.
But I kind of had the realization after all that happened. I kind of had the realization that if I had a one and then we started talking about a new deal and I got a pay bump, I probably would have taken it
Mm.
and then been stuck in and then been in the same position that I've been in for the last few years, which was obligated to do something that I just don't have any love for anymore. So it's really like as bummed as I was about it not closing the way I hoped it would. I really think that was for the best.
Right.
Like it was almost like I was forced to do this thing that I really wanted to do anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that makes I mean it's like that the temptation, right? They're dangling the carrot in front of you if it goes the other way.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. I'll be like, oh, I have some bills to pay, and
Yeah, yeah.
I'd love a new visa, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do think it happened the way it needed to happen.
How did you feel about it in the moment? Like it was, pretty competitive. I thought, went longer than the other two, but
No, I
uh
haven't watched it. I hated it. I
yeah.
hated every minute of it. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to be there. I didn't enjoy that was the first fight where I legitimately didn't enjoy a single moment of it. Like I remember being in the I think it was the second round and I had her against the cage and I was like, fuck, I got another 7.5 minutes of this.
Uh,
Like I remember seeing the time and going, fuck, we're only halfway through the second round. And I've never felt like I've had 25 fights and I've never felt that before, you know?
mm,
And that also felt like a pretty clear indicator that I was done. Like I was done with that sport. Because I hadn't since the like I wanted to retire with the Sarah Alpa fight,
yeah.
you know, but then because I won, I was like, fuck it, like we'll keep,
And the way
you
you
know,
won, like, yeah, it was all
yeah, that's it. Like, let's have another crack. But it was the same thing. Like, the Jocelyn fight was just, it was so hard. And I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy camp. I didn't enjoy the fight. Like, there was just nothing about it that I was enjoying anymore. And then, but I just signed a new deal. And so I was like, all right, we're going to keep going, you know? And yeah, it's been a long time since I've legitimately wanted to be in the cage,
so for that
which
one.
was sad because I love fighting. I love to
Yeah.
fight. I just wasn't enjoying MMA anymore. It was just every camp I was going through, I was getting more and more beat up, and just my body
Right.
wasn't recovering the same way, and it was making me feel my age. And since I'm not doing the grappling and the wrestling anymore, like I feel reinvigorated, I feel rejuvenated, and I feel healthy for the
Yeah.
first time in a long time.
Yeah, not as much wear on you with all that kind of
No.
the heavy stuff. But do you think also a little bit of that would have been because you like knew that it was the last one? Like that played a factor at all? You're like, I know this is get this over with kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You know, I really haven't given that much thought to any of it, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like, I'm ready. I'm kind of like, yeah, it was cool. Like, I did some really great things. I think I was ranked number 7 at flyweight at one stage, which is a really cool thing to
Yeah.
accomplish, you know? Um, but like that part of my life is done. Like, I don't really give it any thought anymore, aside from, fuck, it's cool to not have to wrestle anymore. Like, that's probably the extent of thought and energy that I give to MMA now. But like I watch people go do MMA practice or do MMA sparring, and I just go, man, I'm glad I'm not doing that.
Yeah, moving on. So we won't see any Jesse comebacks as we see with all these other guys, is what you're saying.
Nah, not unless it's for a real tiny paycheck. Nah.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe if Risen
Oh,
offered me
there
a contract,
I'll hook you up.
that could be it. Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet. Problem is though, yeah, they don't have many bantamweights over there. I mean, really when you look at it, there's not many bantamweights outside the UFC these days. Kind of
No.
unfortunate.
Well, I mean, PFL and Bellator both have a bunch of bumped up
Yeah,
35ers,
kind
you
of
know. But
in both of those divisions. So
yeah,
yeah. But I mean, as for other things going on, did you catch have you been watching MMA still then? Or are you like kind of just done with it? Moving
I
on
wasn't even
fully?
really watching it before I left it, unless it
Yeah.
was like
You were there or
Feely,
something.
unless it was Andre Feely or Gaston, you know, like not really, unless it's one of my direct teammates or really close friends. Like I'm friends with Sean Strickland. I didn't even watch his fight. I just don't care.
I mean, what'd you think though? That was a pretty I mean, hearing about it.
No, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen.
Okay.
I knew he was going to win. Like, yeah,
What gave it away for you?
I just know Sean. The thing I've known Sean for a long time. Like I know what he's capable of. I know what his mentality is. Like, yeah. And you have to kill him to stop him. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I just didn't see with the way with Izzy's style and how he's been fighting in recent years and how kind of conservative he's being. I just didn't think he was. It went from the little bits that I've seen and what I've read about it. It went the way I kind of thought it would.
Hmm. So I've talked to Sean once before, and it was right when he was coming back from his motorcycle accident. And
Oh yeah.
I kind of, didn't realize he was how he was at that point. So a lot of
He
stuff.
he wasn't, you know what? He people weren't giving him the media attention back then that
No.
they give him now. So a lot of people, he's always been exactly the same. He actually, after that accident, he told me never to get a motorbike, and he still hates that I have bikes and
Yeah.
work with Harley now. Like he almost every single time I post something about my bike, I get a message from him, even though that idiot has bikes now again.
Right.
But he's always like, "I told you not to get. I told you not to get a motorbike." Like, yeah, I know you almost died, and I'm really glad that you didn't, but
Yeah.
I still want to ride my bike.
And you're being hypocritical since you have some too.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you know him then? Because like I mean, just cross training at times, or like how did this
I
happen?
actually don't even remember how we became friends.
Yeah.
Like I have a terrible memory anyway. I don't Sean and I have been friends for years though. Like I want to say 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
I don't remember the first time I met him. The very first conversation I remember having with him was about the motorbike, but I already knew him at that stage. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't remember when I first met him.
Huh.
And then we've just always been friends since, you know?
I feel like you guys would be pretty crazy together, just like
He's definitely on a different level
yes.
to me.
Personality
But
wise,
I
I
do,
mean though.
yeah, but I no, I am a fan. I've always been a fan of Sean. I've always, even though he says some really fucking stupid stuff sometimes, the thing with Sean is that he's always honest, and
Yeah,
there's not many people like that.
very true. Very true. Wow. Okay, Jesse. Well, I don't want to bleed into your nap time too much longer here, but one more
Thank
thing,
you.
I
I was just
guess.
thinking exactly that.
Yeah, I know I'm
Come
getting
on,
tired
man.
too.
Yeah.
But since we last caught up though, like Nunes retired and obviously the bantamweight division, and I'm sure maybe you didn't even watch that one, but I wanted to mention it to you because you're on my side about always voting Megumi as the GOAT. So does that
Yeah,
change at all
always.
for you? That doesn't
No, never.
change now?
I don't see anyone will ever be able to take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I don't
So
have too much more to add.
maybe maybe the only other argument would be Cyborg, but you could also argue that there were a lot of people she fought that weren't even close to being on her level, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's one of the
So
knocks, I
yeah,
think.
that's probably the only other person that I would put anywhere close to Magumi.
Yeah. Yeah, always a debate, but all right. Well, can wrap it up
All right.
there, girl. Appreciate you, and
Well,
best of luck with everything.
appreciate
How
you.
do we watch this fight? By the way, I would love to, but I haven't been keeping up, obviously, with the Muay Thai stuff or the lion fight. Do you know how we can watch?
Uh yes, it's on Fight TV.
Okay,
FITE TV.
perfect.
Yes, on Fight TV.
All right, awesome. So looking forward to that. But wishing you the best of luck with everything. Hope you enjoy the rest of the time with the family. Tell mom I said hi. And,
I will. Mom, Drake said hi.
oh, hey.
Hi.
All right, Jesse. Well, take care, girl, and we'll catch up again some
Cool.
point afterward.
Yes, sir. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, later.